So when it comes to you, chances are you've had a DBS check. You know, the one where your employer wants to know your criminal record. But when it comes to members of parliament, well, I think you can see where this is going. Because as you can see by this parliamentary question here, by the MP Kat Eccles, she asked the Minister for the Cabinet Office if he's made an assessment of the potential merits of mandating DBS checks for people who wish to stand for election. And that's exactly as it sounds as well. If they want to stand for election, has he looked at the potential merits of making them take a DBS check? It's clear as day. And for most jobs in this day and age as well, you have to have a DBS check. Your employer wants to know your criminal background. But apparently the voters, me and you, apparently we're not, we don't get that information. It really is sick, isn't it? But we can see here, this Labour MP has responded. And he says that the government have no plans to introduce a requirement for candidates to undergo DBS checks before standing for elections. And I really do think that that's as clear as day. Like, we go on about two-tier systems. That's probably about as clear as it gets. Because what you got to think about, right? If you refused a DBS check at work, your employer can't really employ you anymore. They're going to have to sack you. Whereas with the MPs, I'm not sure what it is that they're hiding. I don't know what it is that they've got in their closets that they don't want everyone to know. But if you refuse it, like I said, you would get sacked. So I just don't see why the rules don't apply to them equally as well. Truth be told, maybe they'd just fail. Maybe there just wouldn't be any left, do you know what I mean? It's just like no MPs left once all of the DBS, the mail comes in. Following day, they're all gone. But what gets me about this one, right, is that the MPs are making rules for themselves. They're the ones voting on it. So, let's say that over half of them have skeletons in their closet. Well, it's never going to come to light. The public are never going to know. And I hate to break it to you, but that could potentially mean that there's some nutters in charge. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. But these people might actually be crazy. And it's not even a big deal as well. I don't know how much it costs for a business to do it, but it's probably like 15 quid. To ask a business to do a DBS check, it's probably £15 per employee. And if that was the going rate, honestly, I would love to request DBS checks on a few MP. You imagine if you could do it as part of the Freedom of Information requests. Ask for their criminal record. Oh my god. Oh, that would be incredible. They'd never go for that. But like I said, they're the ones making these rules. They're clearly going to put them in their favour. So when people go on about two-tier systems, this is a two-tier system. And like I said, it's a recent question by a Member of Parliament. So the most up-to-date response that we have is basically the government's telling us to swivel. They really think that they're the ones in charge. But if you enjoyed this Daily Clown World video, where we saw that MPs have refused DBS checks, to me that's, more people should know that. If you refuse a DBS check, you get fired. If they refuse a DBS check, that's just, something they do every day. But if you enjoy seeing this information, then I'd highly recommend to subscribe, because you wouldn't believe what I've got for tomorrow.
This country has gone crazy.